All right. Welcome everybody to AI and the restaurant business. So I'm going to talk to you today about a topic that has been probably everywhere you look lately: artificial intelligence. Sometimes deservedly, sometimes just as a buzzword to be thrown in there and get your attention. So my goal today is to talk to you about what artificial intelligence really is and how it's being used today. And then specifically applications that are appropriate to the restaurant industry and things that you can take away after this talk and try at home for free, things you might want to try in other types of services that are out there that are available to you to run your restaurants differently, increase sales, improve operations, things like that. So, three topics we're going to cover today. One is, what is AI? Specifically, how is it evolving? Where are we today in this evolution? How we look at AI as an assistant and not a total solution. So AI is not going to come over and fully run your restaurant for you while you sit at home and watch TV. I don't think there's a world that that's going to happen like in the near future, but AI is going to be there to help you paired with humans. And then the third is specific restaurant applications. I'm going to do a quick poll at the beginnings, and we're going to use your phones. So I'm going to ask you just to take out your phones to get ready while I introduce myself. So my name is Nick Florick. I run backofhouse.io. It is GFS's third-party technology partnership program. So if you haven't been to the tech cafe over there, that's where we sit, and we have a number of partners from point-of-sale systems to labor management solutions to website and marketing tools. Many of our partners are software vendors who have implemented AI and are implementing AI into the products that they have available. So you can try out some of those, and I'll reference some examples during this. I have over 8 years of experience in the food industry. I ran operations for Gordon Food Services Corporate Innovation Hub for the last 8 years before running the back of house third-party technology program. I've also launched my own business, which was an e-commerce marketplace, helping restaurants who wanted to sell packaged spices, sauces, X, you name it, into retail. And then my entry into food service was really in high school when I worked for Subway as a Subway sandwich artist. So that was my food service claim to fame. And I was there back in the day where you did the boat cut, and they changed the cut on the bread to being a folded sandwich. And a lot of customers were unhappy about that. So if you remember those days, that's back when I was there. So if you have your phones out, we're going to take a quick poll. So if you just scan this QR code, question one, there's just two questions. Do you use AI in your restaurant today? Yes or no? Give it a few seconds more for people to reply. All right, so about 70% no, and 30% of you are using AI to some capacity, which is great. Very similar to the group yesterday, actually. And the second and last question is, do you feel that AI is beneficial for restaurants? Yes, it will make restaurants easier to run. No, this is a human industry. Get out of there. Or I don't know, I need to learn more. All right, so we have an optimistic crowd here that either does think AI will be beneficial or they do want to learn more. So actually also very similar to yesterday, which was the most optimistic crowd we have had from any food show that I've been at to other reasons. So it's a good mindset to have, because I think it'll help you a lot if you apply it. So just a few quick stats to start. So Pop Menu, which is a website management company, surveyed all of their users, which are restaurant owners, and 79% of them replied that they thought they were have implemented or were considering implementing AI in their restaurant. So similar to the responses that you had to the poll about intentions of AI. And then the other big thing that comes up is AI displacing jobs. And while AI, yes, will take certain jobs away and people might have to be retooled, it is also expected to create quite a lot of jobs. So
The World Economic Forum estimates that 170 million new jobs will be created by 2030, which you can see is much more, almost double the amount of jobs that are expected to be lost. So if you look at AI as a welcome change that will help you do your job, that is a job creator, that will be a good mentality to go into in the next decade or so. So what is AI and how is it evolving? So there's a couple of very specific things that AI can do right now. So some examples, AI can answer phones and take orders, and this is not in the press 1 to get routed to option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 manner. It's a conversational AI bot that is available right now. Restaurants are using this, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. You can use AI to write marketing emails, to write any content really. If you have not opened ChatGPT or you have not opened Google Gemini and just tried typing a prompt and said, hey, write an email to my dad or my son or my sister that says this, try it, because it's really cool how quickly it does it and how natural it feels. I always view anything I do with AI first as a starting point, a draft that I either need to vet or edit. But if you haven't tried it, highly encourage you to try it. AI can create your staff schedule. So we have some software partners who do staffing and staff schedules. And if you have one of those partners that's plugged into your point of sale system and plugged into aligned with your scheduling tool, you can put in a budget and it can tell you the optimal schedule and spit that out for you. So you don't have to sit at home every night writing a schedule, or every week, or how often you do it. It can give you a starting point. So a lot of what AI can do is accelerate a lot of these things. AI can also inform seasonal menu changes. So I was in a meeting the other day and we were actually looking at restaurant menu trends in Chicago, and we used ChatGPT, and it gave us some examples that were pretty spot on to what people were hearing and experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Google also has a really a great tool called Google Notebook where you can upload your own data sets, and the AI will look at those data sets. So one use case I was talking about with somebody after the talk yesterday was looking they were in Alpena, Michigan, but they look for inspirational trends in Chicago, Detroit, Grand Rapids. You can go download PDF menus, let's say from Detroit Mexican restaurants if you wanted, upload it to Google's Notebook platform, say, hey, search these menus and tell me what the most common dishes are, what the newest dishes are, and it will do that research work for you and summarize that. So it saves you quite a lot of time versus having to read through all of those yourself, compile them. The AI will do that compilation for you and provide the bottom line insight to what it is. So this is where we get a little bit nerdy, technical. AI really can be divided into two main categories. So all of the applications of artificial intelligence today are what is called narrow AI, which is specific use cases, like, for example, a chatbot that you're talking to on a company's website. But it's moving towards general AI, and general AI is much more human-like in interaction, can perform more than one task, and can evolve more quickly, and blurs the line a little bit more between understanding that you're talking to a human or to a machine, basically. Nothing is in general AI right now, but there's a lot of research that will continue to evolve and move us towards that. So examples of narrow AI, as I mentioned, a chatbot, for example, predictive text. So on your iPhone, if you text, you should probably notice that, I don't know how long it's been now, a year or so ago, or a couple years ago, it started to prompt what it thought you were going to say. That's an example of narrow AI where it knows your history of text, it knows what common phrases are that humans use, and it is providing you something that is the most likely thing that you're going to say, and it's automatically correcting that for you. General AI, you can imagine a world, for example, interviews is a good example. Imagine a world where you have an AI agent. Let's give that agent a name. Let's call her Mary, and you say, hey, Mary, I need to hire 2 line cooks. Mary then goes out, drafts resumes, drafts job posts, knows where to post them, reaches out, sends emails to people in a contact database, schedules interviews, conducts the interviews, and gives you the top 2 candidates to pick from at the end of the day. That is what general AI experience would be like, and more tools are moving towards increased functionality to do multiple things like that. So how is AI being used in restaurants? An example I like to provide is Starbucks Deep Brew program. Is anybody here familiar with Starbucks Deep Brew program? Does anybody here have the Starbucks app? About half of you. Okay, I see some enthusiastic folks in the back there. So in 2004, Starbucks launched the Deep Brew program, which was a decided effort to integrate AI into everything that they were doing, from the customer experience to operational management. And if you have the app, that's part of their AI experience. So they designed the app at that time to make sure that they could understand your buying habits, send you personalized, targeted push notifications, text, emails, whatever you have enabled. So I use the Starbucks app a lot. I'm a cold brew drinker in the summer. I buy cold brew fairly frequently during the week. I have times in the morning I'm buying coffee. I have certain times in the afternoon around 2 or 3 o'clock. If I buy coffee after 3 o'clock, I can't go to bed, so that's what I get. So if I go a couple weeks and I'm not making those purchases, Starbucks will send me a push notification, say, hey, get a cold brew and get X% off. Or did you know that we have this new offer? Those are hyper-specific to me, sent based on what I'm ordering and the times that I'm ordering. So if any of you have the app and you get those notifications, those are specific to you, and that is them having a robust enough AI agent, more or less, in the background that analyzes that information, that knows those specific times that you're likely to click on that to have a reminder to go to the store to make a purchase. The other thing then, Starbucks has implemented that all the way to their operations, from scheduling to equipment maintenance. So they, for example, will know, based on use of certain coffee machines, that these machines are going to be needing maintenance 2 months from now. And they can pre-schedule and have a schedule of technicians and know where to send them ahead of time and plan ahead, versus for waiting for something to break and having to wait last minute to deal with that. So Starbucks made this investment, and there's a couple studies they've done after it, but at the minimum ROI that they saw they got was 30%, and some studies say it's been over to 200% return on the investment, both from the operational savings, but the more salient pieces from customer repeat visits. So if they increase their customer repeat visits, they've increased the purchase amount that people are having. So I share this because Starbucks is a big company, and they've spent a lot of money building proprietary tools that they do this themselves. But this is all accessible to you. So there are software companies, plenty of software. Some of them we have over there in the Tech Cafe who have integrated this type of technology into the software they're offering. You can have an app that's very similar to Starbucks and managed in a very similar way. You can send the same personalized push notification. So it is available to you to use, and it makes direct bottom line impacts on your revenue and your operational savings. So AI as an assistant, and I want to lightly just touch on this topic that at least today, AI is not to be used outside of human context. Maybe one day we'll get there. There's a lot of movies hypothesizing what that world looks like. But for now, AI is really good at certain things, like performing complex calculations, but it's not going to understand the context of the situation. You have to be there to understand the context, to interpret the output and say, does this make sense for the question that I asked, for the situation that I'm working in? Another one is AI can predict things with a high amount of accuracy, because it can look at a lot of information at once and quickly synthesize that, identify patterns, answer questions. But that's just information. It's not going to be able to then communicate that to another human that you're working with. It's not going to be able to establish relationships, and especially in hospitality, being such a relationship-driven business, humans are going to be critical to the hospitality experience going forward, but AI can supplement and help you do your jobs and your staff do their jobs a little bit more effectively and quickly going forward. So now let's talk about some examples of restaurant applications. So one that I've mentioned a lot, there's a number of examples in the sales and marketing space. The example of Starbucks app I mentioned with this. If you haven't tried using ChatGPT to create social media posts, you can try I would recommend trying to do that. That's a free tool where you can give it a bunch of prompts, have it make a schedule of posts for you for the next couple of weeks. You don't have to come up with that on your own. You can edit it, but it saves you quite a lot of time. So that's something I recommend doing as well. But I want to show you a use case that one of our partners, owner.com, which is a website marketing company, uses, and they've implemented AI into a tool called Restaurant Grader, where you can put in your restaurant name, and it'll go through a cool analysis. But the best way for me to communicate it is to so let me give you an example. So I was at Founders Brewing a couple days ago, so I'll just use that. So you just type in your restaurant, it searches the internet, and it knows quite a lot about this. So it identified Founders Brewing. What it's doing right now is it's identifying competitors that are coming up close to Founders Brewing in the same market. It's reviewing the customer reviews of the website on Google and other platforms and what the customer sentiment is. It then looks at the website at photo qualities. These are actual photos from the restaurant right now it's looking at. Looks at the user experience of their website, both on desktop and mobile as well. And then what it does is it spits out a score that gives you a health grade. But more important than the score, and this website's doing pretty well, is it gives you pretty specific guidance on things that you could be doing better in from your digital presence standpoint. So Founders Brewing, for example, it shows that it's ranking 4th below 3 other competitors. So the Mitten Brewing Company ranks 2nd. We actually just interviewed them on the podcast this morning, but they're a competitor, and it shows you how you're ranking to your competitors. It shows you for specific search terms how you're ranking. And then more than that is it gives you some specific things for you to change, both from an SEO standpoint, guest experience standpoint, local listing. And you can take this information, and if you have a website person or somebody on staff, they can apply this, or you can seek help in another way. But I share that mostly to show that's an application of AI, and like just 5 years ago, to be able to do that analysis, you probably would have had to hire an agency, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, take multiple weeks to get that report. I just did that in 30 seconds, and I have like a quick thing that I can then go take and use and apply and improve my digital presence, improve my online ordering, and make a direct impact on revenue. So the next topic is HR and staffing. So there's examples here. Labor forecasting is one that I've mentioned. If you are using a software platform like Push Operations or 7 Shifts, they are integrating AI tools to help you do labor forecasts more accurately, prompt you with labor forecasts, prompt you with schedules. So you're just doing the editing, you're not doing the creating of these things. Resume screening and hiring is the next example. And there's a company that called Paradox that's a good example that has an AI agent, Olivia. And while it doesn't right now fully handle everything to get you that singular person, what it does do is it interacts via text or chat with applicants, and it does the administrative tasks of scheduling and managing applications. So you can offload these scheduling and application review tasks, show up for the interviews, check if the person moves on or not, and then the AI agent will handle those administrative tasks and organizing. So this is technology that's available today, and most of these are examples of things you can apply at the moment. The next is inventory. So if the first step for inventory is if you're not using either one of GFS's tools or a third-party tool to manage your inventory, start there. Don't try to go too complex. Make sure you get a handle of your inventory and what your profitability is. But then a lot of companies have implemented AIs to take that to the next level. One is Taste, which is a company that connects to your point-of-sale system, understands your historical sales data, types of products you're selling, and will do things like generate prep lists automatically. So if you're coming up to Wednesday and you're a burrito restaurant and you have Taste, plugged in and configured. It'll say you need X amount of onions chopped, X amount of tomatoes, X amount of tortillas, and it will learn over time too. And you can put inputs for other factors that impact the sales for that day, like weather or other things. You can provide those inputs, and it'll take those into account. So instead of having to make prep lists yourself every night or write it down, this will give you the starting point. So that's one of the big things. AI gives you like an advanced starting point for a lot of different things, and you have to use critical thinking to say that's right, that's not right, but it will save you quite a lot of time in all these little tasks. The other thing that PreciTaste is doing really interesting is they have a hardware solution, and they're piloting this with Chipotle right now, where they monitor bin levels, and they can tell based on the sales traffic on a minute-by-minute basis if sales are over-trending a typical lunch rush, for example, and they're going to have to cook 2 more bins of chicken 2 hours from now, and they can send a notification to the staff member who does the chicken, says start making chicken now because you're going to need 2 more bins 2 hours from now that you didn't plan for. Before this type of technology existed, I mean, you had to monitor it yourself, and you were probably trying to catch up last minute to do those things. You can get ahead of some of these things with this information and this technology. And the operations, and this is probably one of my most fun topics. There's quite a lot of applications of AI, from table and waitlist management, AI phone-based answering, reviewing your guest reviews online, which I showed an example of before. But one of the most simple applications, just phone answering. And we have a company called Loman AI that's in the Tech Cafe that can give you a demo, and you can experience this. But just answering phones, taking orders, pizza restaurants are using this quite a lot lately. So there's often times where order volume is so high, somebody's busy making food and they're not there to answer the phone, and you're missing orders. If you have an AI agent handle it, you're answering 100% of the calls. Even times that you might not be open, you can have a different type of message. You can configure it in a way that works best for your restaurant, but you can focus people on the tasks that are the highest use of their time and use something like this. So I recommend at least checking this out to see how natural the experience feels. And my last slide. So what can you do today? So if you haven't tried AI, at a minimum, I always recommend starting with the free tools. Start with Gemini, start with ChatGPT. See what you can do before you start signing up for some software, and how it can help your day-to-day run a little bit more smoother, and how you can spend more time doing the things that you want to do rather than typing emails and marketing emails and things like that. Otherwise, after you do that, so look for it for marketing. The scheduling function usually saves a lot of time. If you're using scheduling software, you can figure out how to test applying that to the process that you have for making your schedules. Predictive demand things like PreciTaste, and then AI customer interaction. So in addition to the phone answering, there's a lot of AI-based customer interactions for digital experiences, for chatbots, for how people order online too. So my message really is, here's some examples, go try it, see how it works, and thank you. Thanks.